I want to get into the Quinn Hughes. He already signed his. Jack
He
Hughes,
got his bank.
his brother is getting locked up here. He huge day for Hughes. Returns from injury and signs an 8-year deal in the same day with it just hours apart. The 2019 first overall pick inked an 8-year deal, $8 million AAV. What were your thoughts on the signing? I really don't know if there's much to say about it other than just basic relative thoughts. I think more information is going to come out as we learn about everything, breaking down, whatever. But Evan, what do you got?
Well, look, I think right now a lot of people are looking at it as an overpay for the first couple of years, just because Jack Hughes still hasn't proven himself yet. We know the potential is there. The skill just hasn't shown there, but by the end of the season, I'm sure it will. In terms of longevity, the pressure's on him now to put up, as I said to you guys before, he needs to put up anywhere between 65 and 70 points a year, because that's what you're getting paid to be. I think by year 3, it's going to, or even by year 4, it could turn out to be a steal. Who knows? The cap might go up because now they're adding all the advertisements onto their, teams are adding advertisements onto their helmets. Everyone's getting their brand deals back together. So everything's starting to happen. So it could look like a steal eventually. But, as of right now, he's your first overall pick. The trust is there. I think it was great to get him long term, because then you know what his situation is. You don't have to worry about him. And sometimes teams would have issues. I'll wrap it up quickly. Teams have issues where they don't want to sign another player because they're afraid that they don't have the money to offer their rostered players. So now now the Devils don't have that issue. Now they know who their core is, and they obviously want to center it around Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton, who's there now for a long time. So I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it overall because I think it could have the potential to turn out to be great.
And I think this is something that you sort of touched upon just a bit. It's just that I think I look at it twofold. This is a great thing for the team itself. And obviously Hughes making that money, who wouldn't want it? But look at the team. They got money. They're showing that the league in New Jersey isn't a popular destination where guys want to go. No one really wants to stay in New Jersey, especially with you want to go at them.
One more thing. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
There. But I think the huge thing for the New Jersey Devils, I don't know if you were going to crack on this, the fact that it's 8 years is huge, because then if there are people that want to play with Jack Hughes, and he's a very talented and skilled forward, the fact that it's 8 years gives players the assurance that he's going to be there for a long time. If it was a bridge deal, teams or players who are in free agency might be a little uncertain to sign because they don't know what the situation will be contract wise with Jack Hughes. How will that affect the locker room? So the fact that it's 8 years, I think it brings almost like a calming tone, although the team isn't as great. But I think it allows for free agents to say, wow, I want to go play with these guys.
And it's a team that has potential. I think no one's going to disagree with that. I think these guys
have potential at every position. Because I really like Mackenzie Blackwood as well. I think he has the potential, like Jack Hughes, to be a very solid starting goaltender.
Yeah, and the one thing I wanted to say about the money is that, listen, guys are going to want to now come to New Jersey because you can pay them that amount of money. They're trying to build something here, and I think they're doing it the right way. You mentioned the term. It's a terrific deal when you're looking at it term-wise. And one more thing is just that first-line centers, and I think that's what Jack Hughes is. I don't think we can really dispute it.
He needs to get bigger.
No, but yeah, there's still a lot of ways.
I don't think so.
There's a lot of ways to go.
Well, I don't think he can get bigger. No, that's what I was saying. I think he's a first line center, but I think his size is fine.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that wait in a couple of years, where the first line, what is the first line centerman money trending towards right now? You're getting him an 8 in 2-3 years. That can be
look at Nick Suzuki.
There we go. That can be 12. That can be this is gigantic numbers. But what I'm saying is, you mentioned, Evan, the rising cap, the advertising might play a role into that. Maybe, and this is why people are saying it's an overpay. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I don't know if you guys have thoughts, but just let's see how it plays out.
People might view it as that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
for
what
the first couple of years.
Exactly.
And then it's going to look great.
And the stats have not backed it up either. I looked at his stats, and I told you guys as well in the group chat. It's nothing crazy either. This guy hasn't put up anything major that him deserving this 8 years. But I think New Jersey's taking a smart approach at it and saying, listen, we're giving you 8. You're going to attract more guys to play with us. It's money that we're waving around to say, hey, guys, you come to New Jersey, we got this money. Dougie did it. Dougie signed this. Jack signed this. Like, we got so many things that we could work with. I think it's just a happy problem for, well, not really problem. It's just a great signing for the New Jersey Devils. And I'm really happy they got it out of the way. He was obviously going to be an RFA by the end of the season. So, Adam, I want to get your thoughts on it. Then I want to really jump into the Florida-Washington game. I'll start with you with that, Jared, and then we'll move our way to the trivia segment of the show. So, Adama, what did you make of the signing and just the AAV, especially 8 years, $8 million? What did you make?
I think it's not a steal, but I think it's a really good contract. 'Cause like you said, the price of a first line center is going up, and it's someone who I love Jack Hughes' game. I think he's ridiculously talented, and he's going to be a 100-point player. That'll be my hot take. At some point in his career, Jack Hughes has the skill, he has the talent to score 30 goals with 70 assists. No problem. If you give him a good player, like I remember I saw a stat when they moved Yegor Sharangovich, Igor Sharangovich onto Jack Hughes' wing. He put up like 18 points in games. Like, he's that talented. So I think it's a really good signing. Another thing that we haven't really touched on, the New Jersey Devils now have their 1 and 2 centers locked up long term for just over $15 million. Not a lot of and they're both young. Nico Hischier's 23 years old, 22 years old. Jack Hughes can't even drink in the United States yet. Fix that.
Why do you think I'm in Canada?
Not a lot of teams can say that they have a 1-2 punch that is really good too. I like Nico Hischier too. He's a fantastic two-way player. And I think they're just set up so nicely because, like Mario mentioned, they had so much fucking cap space. They still have $11 million in cap space after signing Dougie Hamilton to $9 million and Jack Hughes to $8 million. They still have another 11 to throw at people, and they have a bunch of prospects. So watch out for the New Jersey Devils. I remember me and Mario again. I don't really like bringing it up, but we had them as a little sleeper team, and it's low key, like kind of the wheels are kind of falling off a little, but they're still Bettman 500 because even though they've only won 9 out of their 20 games, they're above 500. Go riddle me that. But yeah, I really like this Jack Hughes signing.
And I mean, you said the wheels were sort of getting out of place. I think the wheels are in motion with this team. Like, they're starting to.
No, I mean, like
this
year.
I understand.
They're not making I don't think they're making the playoffs.
No, the Metro's too stacked. But you give me 2 years, maybe. You give me 3 years. I think definitely. You guys know that I'm a really big Devil supporter. I love talking about them. Like, I don't know. I think they're doing everything right. I think this Hughes one is a terrific one. It attests to what they're doing in management. The Hischier one, you lock up your 2 centers for 15 mil. Like, you don't see that many teams pulling that. So I don't know. And long term too. So there's nothing much to say.
They're young too.
And they're young too. Like, this team has a lot of things, a lot of outlets to go towards. I think they're going to be exciting the next couple of years. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I want to get the ball rolling on the trivia segment. I think that one's going to be a fun one. And also Tim Beebs has to make an appearance at some point in this episode. So Jared, I'm going to start off with you because I didn't really get you for the Hughes signing, but this Florida-Washington game, and before I touch upon it, the Panthers, they pulled off a comeback in a thriller. They were down 4-1 heading into the third. Florida came alive and peppered the net with 24 shots in that period, which is quite outstanding when you think about it, 4 of which hitting the back of the net. They scored a shorthanded marker and a power play marker in the exact same period, and Huberdeau and Ekblad recorded 3-point nights. So I didn't really know what question to form for this one. This was an odd one. We sort of scrambled and put this one up there because it was just a wild performance from the Florida Panthers, but I know you probably didn't watch the game. What did you make of it? What do you make of the Florida Panthers never say die attitude? I don't know. What can I really ask on this topic?
Well, okay, of course, the first thing that's going to come to mind with a team blowing a 4-1 lead in the third period.
That happened?
You know exactly.
It's in the name of the podcast, Jared. Don't you worry.
Like, you know exactly where my head's going. Well, yeah, it just shows it's one of the hottest, or 2 of the hottest teams in the league right now. Washington's tied with us as first place in the league, and Florida isn't far behind. So, I mean, it's an absolute bloodbath in that game, and it just shows that Florida is a team that won't quit. And they, of course, were trailing by 3 going into the third period. But all of a sudden, a 4-goal third period, and they scored the winner with, I believe, 15 seconds left. And they're just a team that doesn't quit at all.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was awesome. Good for them.
Can I
Go
know
ahead.
I went
It was
over
your
that.
segment, yeah.
I watched the game, so that's why I was like,
Mhm.
so I was like, when I heard my dad, because I was upstairs and he was downstairs, and we both like in sync said, "Oh my god!" Because the one thing about like Florida, obviously they don't have Alexander Barkov right now, but the one thing that I noticed while watching that third period, especially, is that the depth piece is really
Yep.
like Ryan Lundberg had. I believe he
Shorthanded.
opened up the scoring in the third period, and then he also had an assist on the second goal in the third period, and then Sam Bennett scored to tie it, and then Reinhardt scores to win it, and penalties killed them on the last two goals. But just what a snipe by Sam Reinhart. And I think it's just in the fact that not even Jonathan Huberdeau scored, rather him and Ekblad were the ones manning the quarterback on the power play for the fourth and fifth goal. And I think it's a great gritty win. They had, unfortunately, they were on the other end of some of these games last year. Florida was, where they were just getting smoked with shots, and the Florida Panthers had 26 shots in the third period. So they threw everything but the kitchen sink at Samsonov, and what a great win on home ice in front of 7,000 people.
Yeah.
And shots.
Had to give him the lick, eh?
Sorry, I
Jesus.
gotta throw something. Not everything's sweet with that.
Yeah, no matter how good Florida plays, no matter what they do, what feat they accomplish, there's got to be a chirp of their home crowd.
And all the seniors at Joe Thornton's compound can dap him up.
Oh
Anyway.
man.
He scored tonight. I could give him he
Yeah, he
scored.
scored. Bought one from relief.
I was gonna pick him for Tim's picks.
My sister did.
Oh,
I should
Yeah.
have done it just for the memes. Like if I actually picked that old fart.
Jesus. Anyways, I don't know. Do you guys want to spend any more time on this one, or you want to move it into the trivia?
Yeah.
Didn't even know the game
Wait.
happened tonight.
Go, Jared.
Could I add one thing about the Jack Hughes contract before we
Of course.
completely move
Yeah,
away from that?
I didn't
Just
mean to get rid of you, man. I just wanted to.
No worries. I get we had to move on. I just wanted
Your
to add
2
one.
week was mailed to you.
Okay. So I see a lot of people on Twitter being very like reactionary of right now it looks expensive, but like you guys said, he's gonna grow into it. I mean, the fact that he like 8 million is not breaking the bank whatsoever. Like you look at the situations Toronto has, we would kill to have a superstar player for $8 million. So it's a great deal, and I think he's gonna absolutely grow into it. But the one thing I want to bring up that I saw on Twitter is Mitch Marner in his rookie year
Oh,
has
piss off.
more points than Jack Hughes has in his entire career. So I saw that, and that was definitely something I had to bring up. That was really interesting to me. But no, Jack Hughes is a superstar player. It's like I bring that up more because it's a funny stat that, like, of course, that's where someone's first instinct is to go, is to find the Mitch Marner comparison. So I thought that was interesting. But no, Jack Hughes is going to grow into the deal. Absolutely, he will. I love that they got this done now. I think getting long-term deals is the way that teams should do it. Because I hate the mindset of kicking the can down the road, and then in a few years' time, you have the same issue of trying to lock a guy down for a longer term. So I think it's good that they got this deal done. I think it looks a little bit expensive now with the career totals that he's got. But you know he's going to grow into it. And the fact that Adamo mentioned, which I didn't even know, that they still have $11 million to spend on other players and in other areas. I think they're shaping up really well in New Jersey. And as much as it isn't going to happen yet, I think they are pretty close to becoming a solid team in the league.
And I mean, I've got a feeling Jack was looking at his brother Quinn when he signed that deal in the early fall and was like, this guy got locked up for what, 3-4 years, something like that, bridge deal, something like that. He's like, nah, I'm not doing that. And it's not really looking too promising right now in Vancouver. If you're asking me, it is not. He's like, no, I don't want to be in that situation. This is just a hinge, what I'm trying to say. But I think there might be a role in it. They're obviously close brothers and they discuss a lot of things together. Maybe this contract one was one of them. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing much really to add. Want to add one more?
One more thing I did want to bring up, actually. The way that Jack Hughes announced he was returning to the NHL tonight was awesome. He basically, this morning, he woke up and he literally went, boy, I really want to play a game today, and just blew up Twitter. And everyone's like, what? And like, obviously, he worked it out with his team. Like the doctor said he was ready to go. So he, of course, knew he was playing tonight. But he said it on Twitter in such a casual way where he's just like, you picture him like yawning. He's like, boy, I really wish I could hop into a game today. I don't know what the exact, like I have to pull it up to see word for word.
I didn't
what he
see it.
said.
I'm gonna go.
But
do that
it was an
now.
awesome way that he announced that he was coming back. It was just like such a casual, like, I wish I could play a game tonight. And then they announced like 20 minutes later that, yep, Jack Hughes is cleared to play. I thought that was sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said, "I feel like playing some hockey tonight."
Yeah. That doesn't scream energy. I don't know what does. But yeah, Jack is back, and Jack is back for quite a while. Let's leave it at that.